you love takeaway, travel, and international cuisines? Then you're going to love the Takeaway Man podcast. Join Kevin Kerwin, the Takeaway Man, as he searches for the best international food delivery services accompanied by popular musicians, comedians, and artists. But here's the catch. Each guest gets to pick their food delivery service, order their unique menu items for up to $20, and give a thorough review on it, so you can get the best value for your money next time you order takeaway. You can also enjoy the entire experience on Instagram by following @TheTakeawayMan. Sit back and turn up the volume because Kevin is here.
What's the crack, my hard rocking amigos? On this episode of the Takeaway Man podcast, we have the absolute legend that is George Motz. So we talk about everything from burgers to being in a band to traveling up and down and all around the world. So welcome to the Takeaway Man podcast. And here is the second introduction because I fucked up the first time. Thanks.
What is the Takeaway Man podcast? The Takeaway Man podcast, it was originally set up for bands. So it was to do with any sort of artists, comedians, bands and stuff like that would have been doing international tours. They would have been flying into, say, like Dublin or whatever. And you know yourself from being in a band, you're pulling up to a venue, you haven't a clue where you are. The rider is going to be like a half-day sandwich that's just been sitting there in tin foil, and it's disgusting. So with the amount of bands and stuff like that I've worked with previously, it was just always a case that you'd go in and then you'd see like all of these grapes, bananas, all this kind of stuff, and you're like, oh man. And you're supposed to get up on stage and play a show for the next 2.5 hours, and you're going to be like sinking beers and stuff. So the idea is that to actually meet up with a band and then bring them to a cool restaurant, kind of like what you do for like the Burger Scholars and stuff like that, is go, here's a really good meal. We can have a quick chat about it and go from there. COVID just destroyed it. They destroyed the whole sort of situation. No live gigs, nothing's happening. So it's me just reaching out to the likes of people like yourself, some bands and things like that, and just seeing how they're getting on, what they're promoting and stuff, you know? So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So well, what kind of food did you get?
So I got Austrian food, which is actually kind of hard to find in New York City. I live in Brooklyn, and you can actually find a fair amount of good German food, but not specifically Austrian foods. It's a little bit different. It's kind of like a weird cross between. It's very heavily German, obviously but it's also very French, kind of Italian. It's a little bit everything. Austria is in a very cool part of the world because it's surrounded by all these other really cool countries. Like obviously you got Eastern Europe, Southern Italy, you've got France on the west, and obviously Germany to the north. But I have these good friends that opened up a restaurant like 4 blocks away from my apartment, called Werkstatt, which Werkstatt means in German means workshop. And it was a way for this. I went to the chef. It's actually a very famous chef who I believe is just trying to like get out of the limelight. He's hiding out in our little corner of Brooklyn over here, and opened this place called Workshop just so he could do whatever he wanted. I think he was under pressure to make, he worked at a lot of high-end restaurants in Manhattan and was trying to find a way just to sort of get away from all that and wants to do bistro food, basically, German, Austrian bistro food. So I got the classic. My favorite thing he makes there is the Wiener Schnitzel. So, Wiener Schnitzel, you know what that is, right?
No, not at all. Yeah, cool.
But I've got this. We have these things in the States now where it says tamper evident on there. You can't see that. It means it hasn't been tampered with. My order's on here. Look at that.
No way.
Pretzel Wiener drinks. Looks like an invitation, like an orgy or something, right? Pretzel Wiener drinks.
Oh my
God. Drinks are after. We do the drinks
amazing.
After.
Man, that's so funny.
Wiener. So I got the Wiener. But so the pretzel I got. So he made a name for himself by doing this pretzel. This is a pretzel. It's bigger than my hand. Check this thing out. You ready for this? Hang on a second. Oh, it's a great pretzel. It's a homemade pretzel. Look at that thing. Oh my God.
Whoa. Like that's actually bigger than your head, man.
It is. It's bigger than my head. It's a soft pretzel. I'd
say super fresh as well.
I mean, he obviously makes the dough himself and then cooks it himself to order. It's cooked to order. It's so good. He also sends it out with all these something called Liptauer cheese.
Okay, like melted
It's
cheese.
a cheese. It's like a mustardy cheese dip thing. Oh god, put it in.
No way.
Oh yeah,
That's cool, man. And like with them pretzels and stuff like that, like in Ireland, we wouldn't really get pretzels like that. There's like one or two shops, but we'd get them with like pepperoni. They'd be kind of like pepperoni, cheese,
right.
and ham. Kind of like a savory style thing. But
Yeah. This is like it's like a melty cheese. You dip it. It's like a cheese dip, basically. It's like a cheese sauce,
yeah.
but it's a fine cheese. It's got like dill and stuff in it. He's a high end restaurant. I mean, he's a fine dining restaurateur and chef. So good though. Oh, wow.
That is definitely one thing that I noticed with between the books and the movie and stuff like that, is that the establishments that you go to could either be super super high end, or like this. It looks like this dude's house. You and you walk in, and like one of the kind of the big eye opener things is that when you are going to travel and everyone tells you, oh no, you should try this, you should try that, this is the best thing to do. How do you actually differentiate when you go into a place? Are you going to get their burger that they say this is the best burger, or are you going to go off the menu yourself?
Never off the menu. What I do, and I said this is exactly what I say every time I walk into a hamburger restaurant, is give me the burger that everyone's getting. And if everyone's buying a burger with chocolate sauce and peanuts on it, that's the burger I'm eating, period. There's no question about it. Here's a weird thing. You walk into a hamburger restaurant and you ask for a cheeseburger, but then you look down the counter and not a single person has cheese on the burger, you're basically bucking the system, and you should never do that. You should go ahead and get what
that's exactly it.
Everyone else is ordering. That's the best way to judge what they do best, is the one thing they're doing the most of. And for me, that's what everyone else is eating. So that's the number one rule.
Happy days. And one thing that I definitely like, I can agree with that 100% is in Ireland, when we go into a pub, we have a thing about like Guinness or whatever. But as soon as like an Irish person walks into a pub, they go, how many people are drinking Guinness here? You're looking around, you kind of scout it out, and you go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 Guinness, 2 Heineken. Don't know what that drink is. There's sparklers in it. It's pretty weird. And then you go, okay, I'll have a Guinness, please. Yeah, happy days. And then you have that. But then every time, if it's a new place, you'll always taste it and go, it's always a thing where you're kind of like, maybe not, or whatever. But then 4 or 5 of them, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. So yeah, it's pretty much the same sort of idea.
But it's true. It's different all over the country, though. I've noticed. I've been to Ireland.
Oh, have you? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been a bunch of times, and I feel like the Guinness is different in different places. Is that possible? Or I guess it depends on how well they're taking care of the taps, right?
It's all to do with the taps. That's pretty much it. It's all to do with the taps. There were people hired in Ireland at the time, and they were called pint men, and their sole job was to drive around, to have a pint, and be like, okay, this is at a high standard. But it's very strange is that you're driving around tasting these pints. It's like, how does that work?
I got a great idea for a job. Okay, I'm gonna test the beer.
Yeah.
You got it.
That's exactly it. So
I like that.
Yeah, their job would be to drive all over the country, tasting pints, and then giving it at a certain level. But that is one thing when it does come to Guinness and stuff like that, is that like when it comes to cleaning out the lines and doing all that stuff in Ireland, it has to be done by a Guinness employee. It can't be done by anyone else in a pub. So a guy from Guinness will come in and they'll clean it out. With the regard of this sort of just the chat or whatever, we actually it's kind of structured to a degree. So first things first, we were going to talk about drinks. When it comes to drinks, are you still or sparkling, fizzy water, alcohol? What way does it work for you?
Definitely alcohol. Definitely beer. I'm a beer guy. I love beer. But I've always loved beer. Now, I graduated from college. We were all drinking beer in college, and it seems like my friends started to grow up and they started to drink wine and whiskeys and that sort of thing. And I was still drinking beer, and people would make fun of me. I'd go to a party and I'd say, "Can I get a beer?" And they're like, "Beer? What are you in college?" So it became a thing where I stuck with it for all those years. And all of a sudden, there was this massive beer renaissance about 15 years ago, and everyone was asking for like double IPAs, and I'm like, wait a minute. 15 years ago, you guys were telling me I was an idiot for drinking beer all the time, and now everybody loves beer. Everyone loves beer, that's including me. So I preferred to go with beer. I'm a beer guy. What I did though, I got an Austrian beer. Austrian? I think it's an Austrian beer. Comes in a bag, so I can also get beer to go here, which is good. So this is actually a grapefruit beer. Now, normally I wouldn't actually get a grapefruit beer, but this is a really, really good beer. It's called Schaffenhofer, something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. It's a low alcohol grapefruit beer. It's actually very good, very tasty. The guys spilled it everywhere, but it's good.
Happy days. Do you know what? I'm gonna get. I won't have you having a beer there by yourself. As you can see, my COVID hair is kind of going a bit mad. I'll go get a beer. 1 sec. The stuff that I have here is Nitro Milk Stout.
Nice. Yeah. You guys love your milk stout. Milk stout. What the hell is that?
So the way this one kind of works is where with say like Guinness or whatever, you have your 2-step pour and you'd be very kind of careful to pour it out. With this stuff, it has nitrogen in it.
I hear that.
So when you do that, it has it's a really, really creamy kind of stuff. So you actually just pour it straight out.
Oh.
And then it's probably sacrilege to put it in a glass like this. But when you're a bachelor living in Dublin, I'm just looking over here at all the glasses. I'd rather put it into a clean glass than a half dirty one. So, but yeah, that's pretty much how it works. So, like that.
That's awesome. Yeah. Cheers, buddy.
It's a nice little.
Cheers.
Sláinte, man. Cheers.
Sláinte. It's a word we only hear in America on March 17th on St. Patrick's Day.
That is a thing, and it's a real big pet peeve for Irish people is that Americans, they always say Paddy's Day. And for us, when we go, Burger Day? Is that like, what? Because a patty is a burger. And then we were looking at them going, are you celebrating burgers today? Like, we'll celebrate anything. Like the opening of an envelope.
The patron saint of burgers.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So just on kind of the next kind of question, we have this one called Deal or No Deal.
Deal, no deal.
What did you get today? Was it kind of like a multi-buy thing? Was it so you get like a starter, main course, and a drink?
Yeah, I mean, I got a drink, I got the Wiener Schnitzel, and I got a pretzel. I got the pretzel because it's fun. I know I could share it with my girlfriend here, but the Wiener Schnitzel is the classic. They probably sell more Wiener Schnitzel than anything else in the restaurant, but I want to make sure I got the classic. And just went over the $25 thing, which is okay because in New York City, $25 doesn't get you. You can order McDonald's or whatever, some crap. I'm not doing that. I eat well, so I don't mind spending a little bit extra money, for the tip and for the food and everything else.
That's crazy, man, because when you think about it, like in New York, you could get 25 slices of pizza. You have like your dollar slice pizzas and stuff. So
yeah.
That's the thing. And we did another episode with a guy called Chris Parker, who's based over in Bangkok. And like he would have got like a full meal. So it's kind of like seeing how much your money will get you. Like over in say like the likes of Bangkok or whatever, he got like naan bread, a full curry, some pakoras, a pint, like beers, everything, all for like 20 quid. So it's weird how it fluctuates.
Not in my neighborhood though. I can't get it delivered to my neighborhood. That's the thing. So I could have gone like a cheap curry, inexpensive curry. I could have gone something else. But in the neighborhood I live in, it's not. It's a working class neighborhood. But you're not going to find restaurants that are going to sell anything less than like $30 for everything for a full 3-course meal. It's impossible, almost impossible. Especially with the drink. The drink costs $7, so $7 US.
Wow.
Those delivery charge is also expensive as well. Delivery charge and a tip, all that kind of stuff. I mean, delivery charge, tip, and tax. Well, that was $15, $16 alone.
What? No way.
Unfortunately, in the U.S., Grubhub and Seamless and DoorDash and all these delivery services they're killing the restaurants. They're profiting greatly off of these restaurants. So I normally wouldn't have done it this way. I would have just called them directly and said, "Can you have your guy bring it over?" And they would have done that. But because they go through the service, everyone loses. They lose money. The only person winning is unfortunately this delivery service. So sucks.
Do you know what? And that's such a funny. That looks unreal. Whoa! Oh my God.
That's
cool,
a
man.
very large Wiener Schnitzel with a good slaw. It's a tomato salad and some other. He does great cold salads. I mean, Germans are really good with cold slaws and cabbage and dressings. They're really good with that kind of stuff. They almost like the French idea of a salad, but they make everything is much heartier, much more earthy. It's a lot of slaw, cucumber, yeah. And of course the schnitzels.
And what we have, the schnitzels are so like they're. Is that the breaded chicken one, yeah, or is it a beef?
Breaded pork.
Oh, pork. Okay, wow. Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, the pretzel alone, by the way, this pretzel is $13.
Holy shit!
But the good news is it's actually worth $13. I know it sounds crazy to think. I deal with this all the time with hamburgers. Sometimes I'll walk into a hamburger restaurant. I'll say, "How did I just pay $6 for like 9 hamburgers? How'd that happen?" Or I'll walk into a restaurant in New York City and say, "How did I just pay $60 for one hamburger?" And it really is. It's all based on what you're eating and where you're eating. So, perfect example. This is a high-end chef who does great food, and he's going to sell a $13 pretzel and get away with it because I can tell you right now, it's one of the best pretzels I've ever had in my life. No question about it, hands down. You couldn't go and buy a $13 pretzel on the street in New York. People were like, $13? What are you talking about? So it's worth it.
In Ireland now, at the moment, we actually do have some pretty good high-end restaurants and stuff like that. But what they're doing now is they're kind of taking a bit of an American style, is that they're just doing burgers. They're just doing chicken burgers. They're just doing chicken wings, and that's it. You walk into the place and it's game over. There's some really, really good burger places that they're opening up called Bunsen Burgers. Yeah. And their whole menu is on it's basically on a business card. And it just says burger, cheeseburger, and then the toppings that you can have. And then it's like shoestring fries, hand-cut fries. That's it. Game over. Beers, water, fizzy drinks.
There is this new smash burger place in Dublin. New. I just opened up September, right? What's it called?
It's called Dash Burger. So
Dash Burger. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Dash Burger. Yeah. So that's owned by an entrepreneur, a guy called Barry Wallace. Barry, he's a seriously big foodie. I think he actually met up with, I can't pronounce his second name, but I'll try my best. Guy Ferrari.
Yeah, I don't know either. Guy Ferrari. I don't know. Something like that. We'll call him Guy Ferrari.
He probably loved that. So we met up with him, and they had these pop-up joints. So it was kind of like a Vietnamese roll thing. So they were doing these kind of really nice high-end rolls, and then they swapped it out to smash burgers. And I did the exact same thing that you do. I walked in and I went, "What do you want me to try? What's the best thing that you want?" And your man goes, "Okay, here you go." And he gave me out this burger. It was a double smash burger with cheese. And then for me, I generally just get bacon and cheese. That's it. Toasted bun, bacon and cheese, happy days. His one had pickles, mustard, ketchup, and a bit of lettuce. But I have to say, though, it was amazing. It really was. It's actually doing so well that all the guys in all the franchises and stuff like that are kind of freaking out about it, because all of our local newspapers and stuff, they're basically going George Motz style hamburger places after opening up in the heart of Dublin, and they sell out every day. And it's crazy,
Wow. I've heard that. Someone told me that my name popped up when they were talking about the style of burger, and they basically credited me with it, which I thought was pretty wild. Tell them thank you if you see that.
No, definitely will. Yeah, so the way it works out is all of their kind of homage is basically to the likes of the Burger Show and the Burger Scholar Show on YouTube.
Yeah, wow.
They kind of sat down and they went, well, these guys know how to cook burgers. And that was it. And it was a very, their menu is pretty high end. You can get some kind of, they do kind of go down the side route of garlic cheese fries, the aioli kind of stuff, but it's good. And it's decently priced. I'd say for $25 you could get a huge big burger, big box of fries, and an alcoholic drink or a drink as well, for 20 quid.
Oh, perfect. There's only one location, or there's more than one?
No, it's just one. It's just one. It's literally a
Okay.
pop up.
Wow.
So that's the thing. He has a set amount of burgers he has per day, and when he rolls down the shutter, that all it says is pop up. It doesn't actually have like a dash burger or anything like that. So
Oh, great. Excellent. Well, tell them I said hello.
yeah, no, big time. I definitely will. Actually, I think Barry's actually going to be on the podcast now. The only thing is he's after having a newborn baby, so newborn babies and trying to say, hey man, let's order a takeaway together, and you know yourself, like
Yeah.
it's tough. The next sort of section on this is called Hometown Heroes. So what would be, it's going to be kind of an awkward question to ask somebody, especially someone that eats so much food, but your hometown hero, what would be your favorite restaurant, takeaway, or food truck that if you were to fly into a place now, you kind of go, okay, I know I'm definitely going here first before I go to the hotel, or that kind of shit. Like that's pretty much where it's at.
In my own town, my own city, or anywhere.
It's anywhere that you've kind of lived, really. A couple of the guys that we've been interviewing, they've lived in, say, like LA, Toronto, Bangkok. So they'd have kind of like hometown heroes in each place they've lived.
I usually don't play favorites. You probably know that. I usually don't play favorites only because it just gets me in trouble all the time. It's a tough call. We do actually have a barbecue joint that I'm good friends with, and I love their food called Hometown. And that is a good. I always forget how great it is until I'm back there again. And it's like last week, I think we went there 3 times because I went and I tried something I hadn't had in a while. These like sticky Korean ribs, and I was so blown away by it. I went back and got it 2 more times that week. So, but that's a good question. I don't know. It's hard to say. I usually don't play favorites like that. A lot of times for me, it's a diner. It's a diner burger wherever I am, or it's good breakfast food. I love breakfast. You guys make a great breakfast, by the way. This is. One thing you're really good at is breakfast. You know that, right?
That's actually, we actually have a diner. Our first original diner that was based in Dublin is called Eddie Rockets. And it's just pure American diner food. Everyone, you go in, they have all the get up on, they have the paper hats, all that kind of stuff. Everyone's wearing pure white clothes. So when you go in, and they were actually probably one of the original smash burgers, where you'd have the ball of meat and they have like...
What's it called? Johnny Rockets?
Eddie Rockets, yeah, Eddie Rockets.
Eddie Rockets, yeah. We have a Johnny Rockets in the States. It's a throwback to old hamburger places. Yeah, that's great.
Probably a bit of maybe a bit of intellectual property differences on that one, but like for us, that's what we would have, like the likes of Eddie Rockets and things like that. So, do you know what would make, like, from what I can see when you kind of do these shows or whatever, when you go into these restaurants, you are hugged. You're like, oh, there's George. There's the thing. How good is that now that you have however many million views and stuff? When you just want to go in, have a burger with someone, do you reckon that you're getting this kind of star treatment? Do you reckon that everyone's going to get this burger? Like, are you going to have to bore at it? Are you going to have to go in a disguise?
Well, it hasn't gotten that bad yet. I haven't gotten to the Borat stage where I have to wear a costume. Not that bad.
Okay.
But I don't like the attention. I like to be able to walk in and get the burger that everybody else is getting, but not in the sense that that's what everybody else is ordering. That's the best burger to get. But literally, I want to get exactly what the guy next to me just had. I don't want anything special. I don't want extra cheese. I don't want special sauce. I don't want an extra patty. I don't want your invention that you invented you think I'm going to like. I want the burger that everyone else is eating, literally, the exact same burger. In fact, in some cases, I've had to accept whatever they're giving me. Yeah, I'll take that. Sure, why not? And then have someone else order me a burger so I can get the burger everyone else is getting.
That makes sense.
That's my workaround. I have a workaround just to make sure that happens. And even if I explain to them, like, I don't want special treatment. I don't want like an extra pile of fries or whatever. I just want the burger the way everyone gets it. It's actually becoming harder and harder to get that. And I don't mind special treatment. If there's a line at the door and I've got to be somewhere and I've got to try the burger, sure, I'll take the special treatment. Yeah, bring it on.
Yeah. No, I'm 100% the same, man.
I should get the experience that everyone else has when they walk in the door, not special treatment. But obviously, because I've got my sideburns, everyone recognizes me right away. It's almost impossible to get away with anything. So
yeah, like that's it. You're a serious kind of trendsetter. I'm rocking out this horrible kind of Hagrid style. I haven't got my hair cut in, it's nearly a year to the day now at this stage, because Ireland we're on like level 5. Don't really kind of want to talk about any of that kind of stuff, but level 5, like, I'm kind of doing the whole original punk rocker long hair kind of thing, which is cool in one sense because I've always wanted to do that. But definitely being in a position to be able to kind of skip queues and stuff like that, it's always good.
I didn't hear no bell.
One thing that I did kind of want to talk to you about as well is intolerances, So there's certain kind of times where you kind of go, well, maybe a half-cooked squid burger isn't going to be the right idea, knowing that I have to do like a 10-hour drive home or, something like anything like that. Has there ever been a burger place that you've gone up to where they've been like, we sell pure gluten, pure dairy infused into a burger bun. Here you go. Best of luck.
I don't do that. So the nice thing about what I get to do, other than eating hamburgers all over the world and all over this country, is that I also get to go on the advice of people who have been there before. So I'll look at a hamburger place and I'll say, I want to go there, but I wonder who else has been there. And I've created this network of like I call expert burger tasters, EBTs, all over America, and they look out for me. And they are they actually are first responders to great hamburger discoveries. They go in before I do, and they actually taste burgers and say, "Oh, George, you're gonna love it. It's got a great history. It's been around for 80 years, whatever." Then I go in. If I rarely walk into a restaurant cold anymore. And usually when I do, I notice that it's just a failure. That doesn't work at all. So yeah, it's just the way I do it.
Oh, yeah, big time. Yeah, no, that actually does. It kind of gets down into the next section.
Fly me to the moon.
Tips and tricks that you've acquired over the years is that when you are going to go into a place or you're going on holidays, you're coming over to Europe or whatever, what kind of tips or tricks do you have in regards to going to a restaurant that you've never been before? Is there like the easiest example is eat where the locals eat in a busy restaurant, that kind of stuff. Is there any kind of like hidden ones that you'd have?
Yeah, I just don't trust anybody who says you got to go try this. It's great, unless you know them personally. Unless they say like drive a bus, or they look a little crazy. If someone looks like they eat good food, like they eat well, not eat good or bad food, just eat well, then you got to trust them. They probably know what they're talking about. And honestly, the guy who is like driving the rental car bus at the airport probably knows a hell of a lot more about a good hamburger than some stupid review website for sure. A lot more because they're actually eating them. They're actually enjoying the food.
Oh, big time. That's definitely one thing that I've noticed is that like too much research actually kills it. Where you kind of go in and you see some place and it has 1,000 reviews. Oh my God, this place is the best thing ever. And then you rock up and you go, it's a bit deflated. That was a bit shit, you know. And you're just kind of like, and now I'm hungry still. You go in, you half eat the food, and it's just it's a bloody nightmare.
The other thing about what I do though, also, is that I go into places that are old. I go to places that have been around for a long time, and there's a reason why they're around for a while. And I noticed that if a place has been around I have a cutoff, so you have to have a burger on the menu for over 20 years to be even considered by me or somebody who eats with me. I do that because I realize that 20 years. You're probably into the second generation of burger restaurant ownership. And if you're going to go to the second generation, you're going to be around for 60, 70 years for sure. So 20 years is the cutoff. That's the way I look at it. So been around for 20 years. You've been doing something right.
That's one thing that I definitely noticed, even with your movie in 2004, the likes of like moving Greece. There was a lot of establishments in that movie where they literally picked up the place and went, we are moving the whole building to a different location. Like, is that what it's like over in America? Is that a thing? Does it have to be in that place? Does it have to be them four walls for it to work?
It has to be authentic. It has to have some kind of connection to history. I think people definitely, especially a generation of that's coming up now, they require a story with their food. They can't just go and eat food. They have to have a story. And any kind of good historical context is a bonus. It's a plus for sure. So to be able to tell the story of how we brought the grease or the flat top or the special spatula with us all the way across town, that's a good part of the story. I mean, nostalgia is a flavor component as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, big time. Yeah, definitely. One thing that I definitely would think would do really, really well here in Ireland would be the steam burgers. Those
Really?
steam burgers. Because in Ireland, when I was growing up as a kid, and when it came into cooking burgers and stuff like that, like we would never eat a burger that's pink in the middle. We would never, like, we'd have a thing where, like, if you were barbecuing or whatever, it would always be that juices have to run clear. It's not pink in the middle, which means when your Uncle Johnny is doing the thing, you just get everything incinerated and you just have black burgers all the time. And you're like, oh, that's great, mate. Thanks very much. And then it's a bloody nightmare, literally, in one sense. But what's happening now in the likes of Bunsen and these other places is that they actually ask you, how do you want your burger cooked?
Wow. Oh, good.
And that's definitely been one of the big game changers, is where they turn around and I was like, well, I want it cooked. I don't want it to kill me. So we go with all the way. And they were like, how do you like your steak? And I went, okay, well, I like my steak medium rare. And they went, okay, cool. So I bit into the burger and I was like, oh, because ancestral Irish kind of mammies went, you can't eat a burger that's pink. If you eat a burger that's pink, you're going to die. You're going to have food poisoning. Wow. And then every one of like your videos and stuff like that, they're like, and there's like blood pissing out of it. You know, it's like, how are these guys not dead? And they have 4 series, you know?
It's good. It's good. I mean, I can see what you're saying. I mean, if it's deeply ingrained in the culture, it's almost impossible to turn that off. Almost impossible. But in the U.S., especially, we have a lot of great beef here. We have a lot of great beef. You know, forget all the stories you hear about, you know, the beef problems we have. It's based on the fact that we just have a lot of beef happening here. There's so much cattle and beef in this country in production. It's incredible. So because of that, we have the ability to have, you know, high quality beef, and it just keeps getting better and better as the control becomes tighter and tighter, and you know, there's more regulation. It actually is really good for the consumer, because the consumer is becoming more meat aware, and because of that, they're able to pick and choose what they want, what kind of meat they actually want, what part of the animal, how well they want it cooked, and so on and so on. It's just really good meat. I mean, if you know where your meat's coming from, you can eat it raw no matter what. It doesn't matter.
That is the thing, especially with Bunsen, is that they know the cow it comes from. They've created and developed kind of like a track and trace, where they go, it was Mary's cow out in the field there, and now she's here. So thanks, buddy. You know, that kind of thing.
We did a thing where we on the Burgerland, a show I did a couple of years ago. I went to a butcher and I ate raw beef right out of the grinder. I just took a fork and ate the beef out of the grinder, and the entire crew was like, "What are you doing? Don't do that! You're gonna die!" I was like, "No." The butcher knows the cow's name. Actually, the cow had a name.
But this is it, you know. But that's like beef tartare is like it's raw stuff. It's you know exactly where it's come from. It's ground up and it's ready to go, kind of thing. I'm not too sure about like with the raw beef and the raw egg. Maybe kind of give me a poached egg or something. I don't know, but
I'd be more concerned with the raw egg. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'd be like, ooh, it's kind of like a Rocky Balboa kind of style thing. We kind of went through your full order. What at the end? What was the price of it for the whole thing? Like, was it bad? Was it good? I thought 25 quid would have got you a good bit of food.
The end was $56 for everything.
Holy shit!
That includes the tip.
That's crazy.
The service fee, the tax. I added a beer. The beer was It's a $7 beer, but you know, the dinner was, you know, it's a full meal. I haven't finished it. It's a full meal for $20. $13 for the pretzel, $7 for the beer. I went a little overboard, but this is, you know, because I can. I'd rather. The way I always say it is, you know, take the upgrade. I've always said, you know, don't give your body bad food. I'm saying, don't give your body bad food, because you have to give your body, whether it's high end food or if it's healthy food, you should really be taking care of yourself. And I think there's really no difference between eating healthy food and eating great food, because you're still giving your body happiness. You know, if you give your body junk food all the time,
that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, you give your body junk food all the time, it's just going to rebel. You know, you can't do that.
No, definitely telling me, man. Yeah, big time. One thing, actually, it kind of it's a question that I kind of glanced over by mistake. But do you have any kind of fun, kind of intoxicating food stories? What we have in Ireland, like, of course, yeah, everyone's going to be drunk and all that kind of stuff. But we have this thing that at the end of a night, we'd either get a Chinese food. So the Chinese food would be like rice, chips, curry sauce, and chicken or beef.
Right.
So we call them 4-in-1s or 3-in-1s. And we also get like shawarma, kind of big kebabs, like kind of Turkish style kebabs. So guys with beards at like 4 o'clock in the morning in Dublin they're walking around, their face is full of garlic sauce and like taco sauce and stuff. Has there ever been a time where you've gone out and just sort of, I've had one too many, but you get this kind of tunnel vision going, I'm going to McDonald's, I'm going to get 25 chicken nuggets for me and all my friends, or, any kind of fun stories like that?
Definitely not going to McDonald's, that's for sure. No McDonald's. But I live in New York City, where New York City is a 24-hour town where you can be out drinking, having a good time. You walk out of a bar, walk out of a pub, and the selection of food is unlimited. It's limitless. Whether you're eating pizza, hamburgers, whatever it is, it seems like there's food everywhere whenever you walk out of a bar in New York City. It's really great. That's one of the beauties of living in New York City. Not that I really take advantage of going out all night long anymore. Get a little old for that. But definitely old days, I had no problem doing late night gyros, shawarma, and that sort of thing. No problem. And pizza, also New York City pizza. Grabbing a slice of pizza in New York City is part of our. It's in our blood. It's part of our the fabric of New York City is grabbing a slice.
We have there's a place in Dublin called D Fontaine's, and it's a New York style sliced pizza. The pizza's the size of your head. It's like big, huge, giant slice of pizza. But they never did, and this is probably sacrilege. They never did garlic sauce, so kind of like an aioli. Kind of thing. In Ireland, there's garlic sauce with all your pizza, no matter what you get.
Really?
You get a slice of pizza, you get like a little tub. Yeah, big time.
Wow.
So you will get a garlic mayonnaise with it. The first time I was in New York, the first and only time I was in New York, I went into a really authentic Italian restaurant, sat down, and I was like, "Can I have a garlic sauce, please?" And the girl was like, "A garlic what?" And I was like, "A garlic sauce." And she's like, "We've got ranch." And I'm like, well, what the fuck is ranch? I've never had ranch before. So she said, she's like, ranch, it's the same thing. And I went, okay, cool. And no joke, they brought me out like a full bowl of ranch. Like, it was like a soup bowl full of ranch. So you just see like me dipping the slice into the ranch, like taking bites out of it. And just all the Americans, all the guys from New York were just looking at me horrified going, look at this crazy Irish dude. Like, what's he doing with that slice of pizza? It looks like I was dipping it into soup. It was just insane.
At least you're eating with your hand, though, right? You're eating with your hand?
Oh, yeah, big time.
Good.
Like,
because in New York City, you eat with a fork and knife and pizza, you're in trouble.
Oh, God, no. Like, I think that is one of the main things in Ireland and stuff like that now, is that they're actually really reluctant on giving you cutlery because of the whole situation. So you're going in, and the likes of burgers, fries, whatever, you can eat them with your hands. You should eat them with your hands. Just make sure they're clean, and you're good to go. I have kind of some notes from basically the movie that I was watching and kind of watching through the Burger Scholars and the Burger Show. And how would you feel in regards to there's sort of the national pride on burgers? There's one thing that I've noticed is that, especially when you watch the likes of like barbecue shows and things on YouTube, is that they kind of give you all the products. You know, the way they kind of go, this is how I smoke the brisket. This is the sauce I make. Here's the buns I use. Here's the frying pan I use. They kind of give you all of the ingredients, and then they kind of go, best of luck on doing it yourself. And you kind of you take 2 steps back. Is that kind of a pride in their burger that they know that you can't replicate it, even if we did tell you the secret sauce or the secret seasoning, that you're still not going to do it anyway?
Well, it's not that. I'll tell you what it is. It's because if you go into a great hamburger restaurant, they're going to make 500 to 1,000 at lunch. And especially, I don't know, with other foods, probably the same thing with barbecue, pizza, whatever else, but definitely with hamburgers, that if you make 1 or 2 burgers, they will never be like the 500th burger that you made for lunch. And I've done this before. I've made lots of burgers at events. And I can tell you right now, if you ever want to get a burger at one of my events, the burgers coming out in the middle to the end are the best burgers, because there's sort of like a weird science going on there where the entire thing is like the whole griddle is singing. It's like a weird thing going on, strange science. So unless you're actually making 500 to 1,000 burgers at lunchtime, you really can't replicate these burgers at home. It's almost impossible, but you can get pretty close. And I have a cookbook, which basically explains how to make some of these burgers at home. But I explain very clearly in the front of the book, these are not recipes from the restaurants. These are recipes that I figured out based on what I saw, and with their blessing, with the restaurant's blessings, I've made these recipes. So
that's amazing. And one thing that I've kind of noticed as well is that there's just so many different types of cheeses. There's like all these kind of crazy cheeses, and you're kind of going like in Ireland, like we have amazing cheeses and stuff like that here. But how many times have you like tasted a burger and gone, is that cheddar cheese? Is that New York cheese? Is that like, how would your register be on these like toppings and stuff like that in order for you to break it down?
Well, generally speaking, I stay away from anything but American cheese on a burger because there's a lot of weird science going on with cheese as well. Cheese has to melt correctly, and American cheese is designed to melt. Period. That's it. If you can get that right, you're gonna you don't have to worry about the cheese when you're making cheese with making a burger with American cheese. If you're making a burger with anything else, you have to worry about the meltability. What's going to happen whenever this thing starts to melt? It's going to break apart. Is it not going to melt fast enough? So for the most part, I usually stay away from all other cheese but American cheese. That's it. And I advise you to also.
How unbelievably, how very patriotic of you.
It's just designed well. It's a very well designed cheese.
Yeah, like from me kind of cooking burgers and stuff like that here, we'd have like a mature cheddar cheese, but that's not a good burger cheese because it sweats. It just doesn't taste nice. It kind of gets really elasticated. So yeah, I don't know. So we'll go with a good strong American cheese. Happy days.
It's engineered to melt. American cheese. You look at American cheese funny, it's going to melt. Simple as that. You can wave the American cheese.
It's like the social anxiety cheese.
Exactly. It's gone.
Yeah. So, and the places that you've gone to, has there ever been kind of a recommendation, like from watching the stuff there, like peanut butter as a topping? I was just there going like, oh man, that's really kind of rubbed me up the wrong way. But seeing you guys eat it, you're like, oh, this is the best thing ever. I'm like, maybe, how would you, would it make the most sense to get your book to see how you actually can put peanut butter onto a burger the correct way, rather than you looking at a tub in your press, you take out a spoon of it and go from there?
There's two ways to think of this. One is that you have to trust me because I know what I'm talking about. I've been out there, I've had these burgers, and I would never put a burger on the show that if I said, wow, this tastes like crap on the show, it really tastes like crap. But I wouldn't lie about it and say, oh, this burger, this is pretty good, even though it's peanut butter. No, actually, the peanut butter on a burger sounds ridiculous and disgusting. But if you think about it, there's so many, Southeast Asian countries that use peanuts, crushed peanuts, and peanut sauce on their beef, and it's basically the same thing. I mean, whenever you mix the good salty oils of peanuts with the rendered fat of a hamburger, whoa, it's brilliant. It's actually a very smart move to put those two things together.
Kind of like a satay sauce. That's what we'd have. It would be kind of like a Chinese satay sauce.
Exactly. Perfect.
Ah, cool. Yeah. No, good stuff, man. Yeah. The one thing that I definitely kind of, if it wasn't the peanut butter, it was the actual butter, and that dude just laden in the stuff. He was just like, whoop,
Yeah, I'll tell you this right now. Oh, hang on a second. Whoa, hang on. Just so you know, I got some butter in my refrigerator. Give you an idea.
Oh my God, the OG.
Dude,
that's it.
There you go. Yeah. This is all we eat in my house right here. That's it. I can eat this by the spoonful. The best stuff in the world. I'll tell you something else, by the way. It's a true story. Last time I was in Dublin, I went to a supermarket and I said, okay, I'm sure Kerrygold is great in the States, but I'm going to bring some Kerrygold home, right? And I smuggled into the United States a bin, like this big bin of Kerrygold. I did a taste test. I was like,
no way.
Exactly the same. Identical.
That is the thing. The only thing that doesn't travel well outside of Ireland is Irish people, because we just always get drunk and we're extremely hardworking, and Guinness. Other than that, then we're good to go.
Guinness also doesn't travel well, apparently. Yeah, I noticed that.
That's kind of the two toppings and stuff like that. One thing that I kind of noticed as well was that the evolution of the people eating burgers, it kind of started off as kind of the factory workers, the kind of the industrial engineers, all these dudes coming out at lunchtime, having their stuff. do you reckon it's kind of flipped now and turned into kind of like nightclub goers and stuff like that in these small towns because all the factories have disappeared?
No, I think it's still the same. I mean, there's people. Hamburger is not. It's not a trendy thing at all. Which is, I think, you may be insinuating that, but the hamburger is. It's unquestionably it's food that is there for your pleasure. That's a quick bite that you know is going to satisfy no matter what. The cool thing about a hamburger, if you think about it scientifically, is that it satisfies so much of like a food craving. It's got everything you need. If a fully loaded hamburger with everything that should be on there, you've got salty, sweet, crunchy, hot, cold, sour, savory. Everything is in there. The textures are totally different all the way throughout. When you've got crunchy bacon and a soft bun and a toasted bun, so it's soft and crunchy at the same time. There's so much going on in a burger, and just the expectation of wanting that burger is enough to satisfy your craving. And then you have the burger and it lives up to that expectation. So that was easy. It was inexpensive. It was fast. So I do believe that the hamburger transcends all that stuff. It definitely transcends any kind of trend. Without a doubt, it is still food for wage earners and blue collar people. It's we call it everyman food. I mean, it's designed to be, everybody loves the hamburger, and it's for that one reason, because it does satisfy you. It's satisfying.
Oh, 100%. One thing that I definitely was kind of a big eye opener as well was that, and I'd say you get this a good bit, is that I was say you cook a burger and you don't have a bun, so you use 2 slices of bread, and I turn around and go, that's my thing. There's always been buns, but I'm Kev, and I'm the guy who uses 2 slices of bread. And then I watch your show, and you're like, back in 1900s, Jimmy over here has been using a slice of bread since the start of time. And I'm just there going, no, mate, that's my thing. I've been using slices of bread for the last 20 years. And you're like, you're probably 100 years short.
We're calling it the Kevin melt, not just the patty melt. We're going to call it the Kevin melt.
Well, I'll take it, man. I'll take it at this stage. But no, that's the thing. And do you get that a lot? It's like when you'd meet up with a chef and they go, oh, I've created this. And you go, sorry about you, but you actually didn't.
It's amazing. It's amazing how often people don't realize how they fit into hamburger history, and sometimes how unimportant they are, or more importantly, how important they are. They don't even realize their own massive importance in the just gastronomic fabric of America. They go like, well, we're just making burgers. Now, hang on a second. You're not just making a burger. You're making this special burger, and you influence these people, and these people, blah, blah. They don't even know. It's amazing how often they don't know their own importance. Or the other side was they invented a burger they didn't invent. I'm not to name names, but there's a restaurant in Detroit that believes they invented a very specific burger that is nothing but a piece of history that they weren't even aware of, that started all the way back in Oklahoma. So
that's great.
Yeah, I felt bad in a way having to straighten them out, but I also felt it was my duty. It is my duty.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And do you know the way, like, with your kind of photography skills and stuff like that, how bad do you feel like taking pictures of your food on a regular basis? Because like my dad, he looks at me and I'm like, I'm after cooking a meal, or I'm at a restaurant, or we're out when we could go out and go for meals and stuff. The first thing I do, phone's coming out, taking a picture of it. One, because I'm the takeaway man and want to do blogs and all this kind of stuff. But has anyone kind of like pulled you aside and gone, what are you taking a picture of your food for? Why don't you just eat it?
Well, at this one, people know that I take pictures of my food, and I do end up eating it. Also, what I do is I've only ever owned cameras and equipment that can shoot really well and shoot fast. Because I've always told people that you need to get the shot and get the hell out of the way and eat the food. If you start to let the food get cold, you're basically disrespecting the cook, the chef, whatever, and the person who just is giving you the food. They're buying you the food. That's disrespectful to, I see people stand on chairs. They're up on the chair, like, it's like, don't do that. Don't do that. You're pissing off all the other diners in the restaurant. If you can't get the shot in 10 seconds, then you really should not be shooting. That's what you're doing. It pisses me off so much. And I'll tell people like, hey, sit down. Or I don't know if you've seen this before. The influencers with the big lights. They got the lights. They're like the lighting stuff in a restaurant. Like, no. Put the fucking lights away. What are you doing? So, I've always had great. I have a Samsung S20, which I highly recommend.
Oh,
it's a fantastic phone, and it takes the best pictures in next to zero light. I don't want to light. I'm not going to add light if I have to for a burger shoot in a restaurant. There's no way. There's no reason to do that. So, yeah, it does make me crazy when people do it, and I'm not that guy.
In and out, man.
In and out.
When you're taking a picture of your food, though, there's nothing worse when your flash is on your phone, and then you just look like the dickhead. There's like, oh no, what's after happening?
No, I spent a lot of time teaching people how to do that. I spent a lot of time teaching people how to appreciate that moment. And the moment is all encompassing. It's not about you getting your stupid shot, because at the end of the day, it really is just a stupid shot. You really have to have respect. And if you have respect, you know how you teach yourself how to shoot fast and know the right angle to shoot. So you don't have to like, oh, I want this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle. No, just pick one angle, but know ahead of time what that angle is and how to set something up so it's in the best possible light, and shoot it once and move on. And if you didn't get the shot, you'll get it next time.
Well, this is it. Yeah, that's definitely it. And then just kind of on the second, lastly, I don't want to keep on saying one thing that I've noticed is because I keep on saying it, but freshness and staff retention and wait times, they're huge in America. Like all of the guys that you talk to and stuff and that you've kind of promoted, is they're grinding the beef. They're getting the stuff fresh from a butcher next door. Like that definitely seems to stand to these homegrown, family-orientated restaurants. Do you believe that? Like, is that the reason why the likes of Five Guys and stuff like that aren't really doing that well during all of the pandemic and all that kind of stuff?
Well, they're doing okay. They're actually homegrown themselves. I mean, the Five Guys actually are Five Guys. If you knew that.
No, I did. Like, that's the thing.
It's four guys now. It's a dad and four sons. Those are the Five Guys. So it's a good business model, and they are doing well because they're able to convey that. I think it's the big guys like the Burger King, Wendy's of the world who are having to take note of what the other guys are doing. Smash Burger, even Shake Shack. Shake Shack is doing very well compared to, I'd say, like the growth of McDonald's is not the same as the growth of Shake Shack at all. Because people are recognizing quality. They're seeing that burgers can be and should be made with quality, and also this customer service stuff as well. I mean, you walk in any Smash Burger in America, Five Guys, or even a Shake Shack, and everybody is like, "Hey, good to see you. How's it going? You having a great day? What's going on? Hey, I like that shirt. Happened to me yesterday. I was in Shake Shack yesterday, and a guy commented on my hat. It said burgers on it."
Like, I think it definitely does kind of get distilled because we have Five Guys in Ireland now, and Five Guys in Ireland doesn't have kind of the same enthusiasm as what you would get over in the States. And that's probably, for me, and that's the reason why I kind of would have said it, is that I would have classed them guys as a franchise, especially when you're kind of hopping over to Europe and stuff like that. I actually didn't know that they were. That's good.
Yeah, they're beloved in the States for sure, especially on the East Coast. It's an East Coast product out of Washington D.C., out of the nation's capital, and it is a really good product. It's just that I can see though they are huge. I mean, they actually expanded, I think, a little too fast, especially into Europe. They went too big and too fast into Europe. So. And we all saw that happening.
And that's the thing with the likes of like In-N-Out Burger, White Castle, all that stuff. Is that the reason why they haven't come over to the likes of Europe yet? It's because we're not ready. If you want to have a real good burger, fly over here and taste it over in the proper the promised land.
Exactly. You guys make great black pudding though. What's it called? Black pudding? What's the blood pudding? Black pudding?
Yeah. So that's if you ever want to kind of confuse any of your mates, tell them to come over to Dublin and ask for pudding, because pudding in America is a dessert and pudding over here is like everything that's inside of a pig fried, deep fried. So
sounds good to me.
That is one of the things. In Eddie Rockets, they have a thing called Clonakilty pudding. So
I want Clonakilty black pudding.
That's it. So you want your Clonakilty black pudding. But what I did was I created my own burger. So you do like a make your own burger. So what I did was I put bacon, a fried egg, white pudding, and black pudding on a double stack. So, and that's the thing, is like, you have a burger that's like this high then, and then no one wants to be that guy. No one wants to be that dude with like the huge big burger where you have to take out the knife and fork and you're like, ugh. So there's like a bamboo stick or, like the stick holding it all together and all that stuff is a bloody nightmare. But you can't do that in Ireland. you can't create like crazy amounts of toppings, and you can literally put anything in the kitchen sink on top of it now as well, which is because it used to be just your usual cheese, red sauce, mustard. Yeah, that's it.
There it is.
That's it. Your standard Clonakilty black pudding.
That's in Clonakilty. That's actually in Clonakilty right there.
Amazing.
Best. Oh,
and that's the thing. I
made a little face. See that? Nice.
Yeah. There you go. That's a nice breakfast. That looks like a very healthy style breakfast. Now there's been.
They put my sideburns in. See, she said she made the rashers, right? The rashers are my sideburns.
That's amazing. Oh, that's cool, man. And how many times have you been over to Ireland?
3 times. Recently. When were we there last time?
Wow.
Oh, 2019. I was there. No, 2020. 2019. 19. 2000. I went to a wedding in Doonbeg.
Wow,
I went to a wedding in Doonbeg.
Oh, man.
We had a great time. It was a good time.
I say you still have the hangover. Like when you go to Irish weddings, it's kind of funny though. Like I've gone to one wedding outside and like outside of Ireland, and it was just kind of very kind of, oh yeah, no, we were having a few beers, but it's completely different when you're at an Irish wedding because like, did you do like the rock the boat thing? I don't know if you might have done that where everyone sits down and just like,
oh no, I don't know. It was an American couple. Well, it was a mixed couple. It was a friend of mine who's Irish and a friend of mine who's from the US. And he wanted to have it at home. We thought it'd be a fun trip for everybody to take. But it was a 12-hour, 18. What was it? It was like a 14-hour wedding. It went on literally for 14 hours. It was so much fun. We had the stompers, the guys doing it was great. We had the greatest time. Greatest time. I think there were 4 bands. There were 3 bands and a DJ. It was just went on and on and on. I've never seen so much whiskey in one place. They kept pouring, obviously, Jameson and Powers. What was the other one we had? Powers. Oof, man.
Yes, so there's Jameson, Powers, and Bushmills. They're kind of the 3 main sort of Irish ones that you'd have. But that's the thing now, like all these distilleries and stuff that have popped up now in Ireland, just hundreds, just really is. It's amazing because there used to be just the 3 and now everyone's kind of creating their own blends and stuff like that. It's insane. But when it comes to weddings and stuff, so you're after having a rake of pints, and did anyone turn around to you and go, hey George, man, you play guitar, do you want to hop up with the band, or did anything like that ever happen to you?
Yes. That didn't happen in Ireland. I would have loved that. Did it happen in Ireland? No, but just once in a while it happens.
Oh, yeah, big time.
I was hoping I was asked, but I don't think. I feel like it did happen. Where did that happen? I feel like something did happen.
Do you know what? I probably did. Do you know what? The photographer will have a picture of it, and then in 10 years' time, you'll just get sent this picture of you with your shirt off, doing air guitar or something.
I did do that. I did that a few times. So I was at a burger event, and someone said, "Hey, George, come on over here and get on stage." And I ended up singing some song. I was completely drunk. I don't know what I sang, but it was they gave me the lyrics, and I was like, ah. So I forgot what I said. But I've got on stage before a few times. Mostly with friends.
Oh yeah, that's always cool. And what happened with the whole toss stuff? Because you're a very elusive band. Like there's no Spotify. Like was it kind of like you have that one song? It's kind of like the Sex Pistols, where you kind of went out and you have like this one album, one and done. See you later.
Well, no, we actually had a bunch. So the reason that you don't see anything, Kevin, is because we existed a long time ago. Before the internet. we were big before before email, before Spotify, before everything. I mean, we made a CD back in the day. You know, not quite as old to be vinyl, but we made one CD. That was it. We made three albums. But it was before any kind of like, you know.
Like, where are they now? Where are these albums? Are they in your attic? Like, is it a case that if we have George Motz signed,
on the computer somewhere,
like toss CD, like this is?
We had the one CD. We did. So we're right. Just so you know, I mean, I don't know if this is any interest to anyone at all, but we are talking about producing.
Definitely, man. This is huge. Yeah,
we're talking about doing like an actual a best of vinyl, like actually releasing vinyl and pressing a few hundred copies of one, like the best of. So we'll see what happens.
So there you go. There's my
nice.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Like my little bachelor pad.
Nice.
But yeah, so that's if there's going to be vinyl release, definitely send us the link and I'll get one, man. Because
Definitely, yeah. No, I would like to see it happen because the band broke up a long time ago now, and we all went our separate ways. We all started like making families and kids and babies and everything, and it just sort of went away, unfortunately. But four of us were pretty talented guys together. I don't think separately we're not as talented, but as a unit, as you know, as a band works, bands are not easy to keep together. But I'm just happy that we recorded when we did. We recorded enough. We actually recorded, I think, 16 or 18 songs in total. And it was fun. We had a great time. I mean, we lived by the Beastie Boys credo, which is simply that, you should be having a good time all the time. If you're not having a good time anymore, what the fuck are you doing it for? You get on the stage and don't give them the music. Give them a fucking show. Give them a fucking show. Let them make them go, whoa, what was that? Whether it was like ridiculous or loud or stupid or whatever it was, just don't let them walk out of there thinking that they just forgot about you. You have to let them leave with something.
Oh, big time. And that is the thing though, when it comes to kind of like bands and stuff like that, it's the performance is key. It's that you have to kind of do these kind of big performances. There's been bands and stuff like that have come over to Ireland that have like, so that they would have bought onto a tour or whatever, and they've completely oversold the main stage band. They've kind of like, there's people there that have kind of walked on, saw the support act and gone, holy shit, like that was insane. And I definitely think it kind of puts a fire in the bands that bring them on tour in the first place.
Yeah, it's just such a shame. Bands get on stage and they play what they think the audience wants to hear, and they don't get cut loose and have a good time. You can always tell. Pre-COVID, obviously, but hopefully we're back in this event soon. I see a lot of live music. I go to probably 70 to 80 shows a year, whether they're small shows in clubs or they're huge, concerts in big venues. But I do see about 70 to 80 shows a year. And I can tell you, I've seen the range. I know exactly when someone's putting on a good show or a shit show. But usually it's because there's like weird shit going on with the band. They're not quite in sync with each other. When a band is like firing away, and that is the best. That was the best moments, because if a band is really like banging, they're doing a great job, the audience knows it too, and you can feel it. I can always tell.
Oh yeah, definitely, hands down. What kind of pisses me off is that you see bands that kind of get too big for their boots, and then it kind of distills them a bit. So like, one band, like they're one of my favorite bands. I don't know if you listen to Mastodon. Have you ever listened to Mastodon?
Sure, yeah,
like a heavy metal band.
Wow.
But when they came over to Europe, they started getting like outdoor kind of main stage festival kind of sets.
Yeah, I know.
The genre of their music is it needs to be indoors, or it needs to be in a tent. You need to be like this with somebody and like jump it up and down or whatever. But there was actually one band that definitely reminds me of Toss, is Rocket from the Crypt.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Rocket from the Crypt?
I never got to see them.
Oh man.
I never got to see them, but I thank you. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. It's very nice of you.
Toss. It's kind of like Toss is kind of like Rocket from the Crypt and Pixies. Kind of like they have these kind of like the punk kind of style, that kind of stuff, but then kind of the vocals of Pixies and things.
What I think I mentioned is we were a Pixies cover band to begin with. We started out as a Pixies cover band.
No way.
That's a really good call if you hadn't heard that, because our first 2 gigs we just did Pixies covers, and we had them all. Hey,
no,
trying to reach you. I mean, we had, because to me that was music. That was Frank Black at his all-time peak, where the second and third album that they put out, where he was just sailing, and because it was so bizarre, it was so weird, but it was still rock music to the core, and some people didn't understand it. I kind of like the fact people didn't understand it. So I don't think we produced music that was that dynamic, but we believe that the Pixies were one of our massive influences, along with Weezer. We are also big Weezer fans. So to us, like you can dueling, that, power chord guitars, and like that sort of that pop melody, pop medley, really was really what we were looking for. So,
man, do you know what? It definitely, now that you say it, but to be honest, I've only heard one song.
I forgot you only heard one song. Shit, I got to fix that.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. You have to put that stuff up on Spotify or something. Let us millennials have a chance, like.
That was pretty good, actually. I mean, you know, I wasn't the songwriter. I wrote 1.5 songs total. The other two guys in the band wrote the song. I had my roommate in college and my roommate after college were other two guys in the band, and a guy that worked with me. So it was a tight group of friends. So I'm always impressed that we even had a band to begin with. So.
That's the thing. Like for me, growing up in Ireland, like I'm a bass player, and when we went to go to music college and we went to do that, and the guy, like when we were learning how to like play music properly, and he was like, "Oh, I clap and do all this stuff." I'm like, "Whoa, dude! I can play on. Give me my guitar. And I can da 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 da. There you go. Like I can do it. I'm not here to learn how to clap. I know how to do that." But I kind of, you know, when we're kind of like music college, and it wasn't working out. But it was actually until he turned around and goes, "Here's the music theory for whatever song." And he goes, "And this is how you should write a song if you want to do it." And you go, "Okay, cool." But then at the end of every time, he'd go, "Unless you're the Pixies, because the Pixies did it this way."
Yeah.
And none of their chords make any sense. They do all this stuff, but it sounds really good. So you can either do it this way or just be like the Pixies and then just go off and do your own.
Well, there's a reason for that. You know this, with being a musician, is that music is supposed to be repetitive. There are progressions and there are sections that repeat itself and then they change. And you have to change it before your brain gets bored. And then the minute your brain starts to fade off, you change and you're awake again. But the Pixies did something that no one else could really pull off. Is they changed within the changes, and they would keep changing, and they kept you on your toes, on the edge of your seat every single second. You didn't know what the hell is going to happen next. And that's sort of the idea of like, you know, really good punk music when it's so loud, it's like, you know, it's going to literally spin out of control at any moment, but it never does. That's the beauty of punk, is it never actually spins out of control. Eventually the song comes to an end somehow, but no one died, thank God. But with Pixies, it was purposely designed to be that disjointed, just so you would stay enthralled by it.
Big time. And like you kind of get that as well with the likes of Rancid. Would you listen to like Rancid and NoFX?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Rancid. But I listened to Rancid a long time ago, but you know, again, that's a little too predictable. Rancid is a little too predictable for me. You know, I like the more offbeat stuff. Like, I don't know if you know Yo La Tango. I'm a huge fan of Yo La Tango. Built to Spill, big fan of Built to Spill. Guided by Voices, I think, is one of the greatest bands ever created. So, because he's unbelievably prolific. Yeah,
I'm just trying to think now the kind of the bands that kind of stick out for me that you might know. The likes of Real Big Fish. Maybe the likes of like Real Big Fish or Goldfinger. Maybe the likes of like Goldfinger and Real Big Fish. Then you're going down your other punk roots. You kind of like Green Day and all the usual dudes. But
I'm a U2 fan. Hey, I know people in Ireland are not huge U2 fans, are you? Not really, are you?
No,
that's okay. I mean, it seems like everybody I met in Ireland was like, "Yeah, U2, whatever." It's like, wait a minute, this is it's like they have this.
It's kind of like I think U2 in Ireland is the Nickelback over in the likes of America. You know, it's kind of like you're kind of going, hold on a minute. You say you don't like them, but these guys are like they've sold millions and millions and millions of records, selling out arena tours all over Canada, all over America. Yeah. But yet they get slated online, and then if anyone asks, "Do you like Nickelback?" and they're like, "Oh no, man, that wouldn't be for me." And then you look at their like top 50 played Spotify songs, and you're like, "Hold on a minute here," you know.
It's true.
That kind of
they're like the David Hasselhoff of America. Like I don't know if you know David Hasselhoff. He's big everywhere else in the world, but he's not. He's like a kind of a joke in America. You know, the actor.
But talking about the Hoff. When you did your first, I'm gonna take a jump on this one.
Fine, go ahead.
When you did your first rescue, and you're like, "Thanks, lady." Why did you get sick?
Wait, what are you talking about? Oh, when I was lifeguarding. Oh,
when you were lifeguarding, when you went in, you rescued your first woman on your first day, and you turned around, and you're like, "Thanks, lady," and then you like turned around and went, "Blah."
I was just adrenaline. I was 18. No, how old was I? I was 16 years old. 16 years old, and the adrenaline I was not ready for a surge of adrenaline. And I was also probably full of salt water. And I tried to hold it in. I didn't actually vomit on her, but it's a true story. I mean, I was totally overwhelmed by the adrenaline. It was just an adrenaline. Bleh.
The way I kind of, from watching that on the show, it kind of makes it out that you ate the 2 burgers, you ran up, and they were like, you need to do your job. And you go, oh, sorry, go in, save the lady. And then go, oh, actually, hold on a second here. This is a bit more like a chew.
That may have happened later on. That was actually my first day. It was my first day at work that happened. First day. I think it happened in the first hour. I think it was the first hour and a half of work. I think I'd been there for an hour and a half. And I was like, I was so excited, ready to go. We have this, whenever you build a lifeguard stand at the beach, you actually dig a pile of sand and you put the sand in front of the bench so that when you have to jump off and make a rescue, you jump off onto the pile of sand and then onto the beach. And I was so pumped with adrenaline, okay. I literally just went pew, and went right past. I missed the pile. Went past the pile, went right over onto the beach, and just started running. Adrenaline.
No way.
Adrenaline makes you do dumb things.
How long have you been a lifeguard for? Or how long were you a lifeguard?
I was for 4 years. So 16, 17, 18, 19. One of the best jobs I ever had in my life. Seriously.
Even though you now travel around the world eating burgers and stuff, you can still say that like saving lives was your best job.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're paid to sit there and watch the ocean, and girls flirt with you. It was the best job in the world. And you're 16. Oh, so your job is to get a tan, flirt with girls, and to watch the ocean. I can do this. And save lives and be a hero.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that part.
Yeah, that part too.
And did you take any inspiration from watching Baywatch then, if that was the case? Like, was it a thing where you go, Mom, I really need these red bungee spanglers. I have to do it, or what way
I hate
did it
to
work?
say it, but I honestly believe that Baywatch may have been around after I was a lifeguard. Oh, shit. Yeah, I think Baywatch.
Oh, so
I predate Baywatch. I'm an old guy, man. I'm a very old dude. So, yeah, it seemed like it. But I'm older than Baywatch, yeah.
That's it.
Great, thanks. Thanks for pointing that out, Kevin. That's great.
Here, do you know what? I thought you were my age, to be fair. And I'm just 29, so.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Yeah, that's mad. So, do you know what else? I have just kind of sayings and stuff like that you've said. So, the likes of dope the bun, letting it ride, American burger belt, and then no farting at red lights. Like, are these things that you should stick to? Like, are these moral codes or like tips?
My all-time favorite line is, and this is, I believe this with all of my heart, grease is a condiment. Because it is. If you get really good burger grease, it should act like any other ketchup or mustard or anything else. Grease itself is a condiment. So don't let that fool you. But yeah, I believe all those. Those are my credos. You're reading my credos now.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was a name for them. My dad has this thing where when we cook like Irish fries or burgers or steaks or whatever, he actually has a cup that he puts the grease into and he sticks it in the fridge. And it's like in a takeaway coffee cup. And I'm looking at him and he's like, do you know what? Get a couple of scrapes of that, stick it on a frying pan. And every time I'm looking at him, I'm like, oh, really? Now that you've said it, I'm going to have to like shake his hand or something and be like, okay, fair enough.
Oh, no. Tell him. He knows. You can put a little bit of beef grease, a little bit of Clonakilty black pudding. Psh, done. The best. Like the only way to reheat the black pudding.
Do you know when it does come to reheating, a friend of mine turned around and she goes, oh, I just have to reheat my burger. And I was like, well, you got 3 burgers then? Is that why you have a spare burger? And she was like, no, I had the chips first. I had the fries first. I was like, everyone knows you never have the fries first.
You know? I don't need fries. Yeah, I don't need fries either. So
that's the thing. Because I was gonna do a pitch because all of your shows all have burgers, but they don't have sides. Where's the chips? Or for me, I say chips, you say fries. Where's the fries? Where's the chicken wings? Where's the garlic bread? Where's all that stuff? Are you just burger man through and through?
Yeah, I mean, I believe you have to focus on the burger. There's nothing worse than getting lost in the weeds and talking about other things if you don't have to. To me, I think that unfortunately, chips, French fries, it's always a massive letdown. So I actually stay away from chips and fries altogether. And I've always said that if you think about the volume of fries, the volume of burger, it's the same thing. You might as well just get rid of the fries and have 2 burgers.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. So the last sort of section I have on here, it's called Infinity and Beyond. So
Okay.
What does the guest want to promote, and is anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, well, I'll say this much, that we are opening a restaurant, which is a great thing. We are in the works right now to open our first location in Brooklyn, in New York. That's happening this year at some
Oh, wow, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks very much. And we're also, I'm working on a new cookbook, a new guidebook. We have season 4 of Burger Scholar Sessions was just green lit. That's great. So we just did the first episode, season 3. First episode of season 3 just aired this week, and then there's more coming. We've got 6 more episodes. 5 more episodes plus a bonus episode, and then there's going to be obviously season 4 starts filming probably in May or June for August. So,
oh man, that's amazing. I feel like anytime when I'm interviewing guests and they definitely tell me stuff like this, I just feel like Alice Cooper in Wayne's World, where it's like, we're not worthy,
There's a lot more coming for sure. What else is going on? Anything else going on? I'm missing? No, there's a lot. Oh, the spatula. But you know about spatula? Yeah, but the spatula.
Yeah. Actually, talk to us about this stuff.
Well, it's impossible to get. I can't even get them anymore. So each one is made by hand. It's a real pain in the ass. Each one of these is made by hand in a factory, and it takes a long time to make each one of these. We had 50. Finally got 50 from the factory and put them online, put them on the on Instagram. One Instagram story, and we sold all 50 in under 2 hours. Got a hold of another 50 of them, and they're all, again, made by hand, take forever to make. We sold another 50 in under 3 hours. So we sold 100 and basically under 4 hours total. It was insane. So we're not quite sure what to do. We keep ordering more, and they sell so fast. So we're still trying to find a way to get them out faster, but it may be impossible. I think where we are right now may be impossible to get them out fast enough. But we do have an order sitting here that's going out. They're actually walking out the door tomorrow. So.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like, you do have shop and stuff like that. Is there anything else that you're going to be selling? Is you going to be doing merch?
Yeah,
like,
we do.
Is there going to be George Motz?
Grease is a condiment T-shirt. Yeah, Grease is a condiment T-shirt. We've got Grease is a condiment sticker. I do want to make this record. I want to make the greatest hits. There won't be hits. The best of. We're going to call it the best of toss.
Oh man,
yeah,
that's amazing.
And so that's going to happen. So cool. That'll happen for sure. So yeah, you tell Kerry, well, keep making that good butter.
That's so cool, man. No, I definitely will. And no, thank you so much for being on the podcast and stuff like that, and just kind of taking your time. I know you're extremely busy with all the stuff that you're doing. Just actually at the very end, I know you kind of talked a lot about the food and stuff like that, but would you order from this place again?
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of a bit of
I definitely. We actually go there probably once or twice a week. They're good. It's the best. The food is so good that of course I would go there all the time. I do go there all the time because it's really great. Like just stick to your bones. Good food. Always good, right? Yes. Always fantastic. Dee loves it.
Cool. That's good stuff. I know. Well, other than that, man, just thank you so much for
our first date there, right? We had our first date at Workstat. Just saying.
No way.
Good date spot.
And here's me being a third wheel now. There's nothing worse being a third wheel on a date, man. But I know that's cool. That's amazing. I'm kind of gutted now that the next time when you're over in Dublin, hit us up and we go for a pint. I'll go bring you to a couple of burger places and show you around.
Yeah, send me your info. My all-time favorite thing to do is to see a city through the eyes of someone who loves it. And if you love this city, then you need to be my guide.
Yeah. Oh, big time, man. I can show you the ropes on all the stuff. Especially like not even burger related things. I can show you some cool things that no one kind of would really know about Dublin.
I already went to Bono's house, just so you know. I already did
that. Shaking hands with the devil. That's what you did.
No. I went to the house. There's the house he grew up in, whatever neighborhood he grew up in Dublin. And I went there. I stood there. And there was a family inside having dinner. And I was like, Isn't this the place where Bono grew up? I was being a bit of a U2 nerd. Sorry about that, but I definitely.
Oh yeah, no, cool. Well, we could go to the likes of the Rory Gallagher and the Phil Lynott statue. There's a Phil Lynott statue and the Rory Gallagher guitar. That's pretty cool. And then we actually have a cool kind of museum, which is very strange. It's called the Dead Museum. Wow. And so basically it's every single animal that lived in Ireland for however many thousands of years, and you just kind of walk in and you just see it. So it's just thousands and thousands and thousands. So, but it's a free museum. It's unreal.
Crazy fun fact: my first concert ever was Rory Gallagher.
No way. That's amazing. Yeah, I can show you his guitar and stuff like that.
That's amazing. So Rory Gallagher was opening for Rush. It was Rory Gallagher opening for Rush. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I was.
Man. That's my.
I was 12 years old. 12. I had no idea what I was seeing.
Rush played Dublin in 2013, I think. And I went, it's grand. They'll play again. It's okay. I'm a very young, naive kid. I'll always get Rush have been around for decades, blah, 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 blah. And it was their last ever tour, ever. Yeah. And it just puts the fear of God into me now when it comes to all these other shows. Like it was with Sabbath as well. And you're kind of going,
I'm the same exact way. I won't miss a show if I know that they're at the end of their career and they're still so fucking good, you know? You have to go see this. You have to go see them.
One band you should definitely check out if they're playing is Aerosmith. Aerosmith. Man, I saw Steve Tyler do a front flip and the chap's about 70. Main stage, a huge arena in front of however many thousands of people, and he does a front flip on stage. And it's just like, whoa.
What's his name? Perry, the lead guitarist from Aerosmith? His son just bought it from Ashla.
Oh, amazing. That's so cool. Oh, man, that's great stuff. Great stuff.
It's good talking to you, man.
Yeah, you too. But that's it. We'll the next time we meet up, we'll go have a beer in Dublin. And thanks again for all this stuff. If you need me for anything, just hit us up. Yeah.
You got it. Thank you. Good to meet you. Bye-bye.
Cheers, mate. You too.
Cheers.
Bye.